Hi, I'm Andrew Stevenson, and in today's video we're going to be using Midjourney to create tileable repeating patterns. Now this is something that I've not really done in the past, because often when you're trying to make these sort of repeating patterns, they do end up not really tiling very well. They're always a bit off kilter. It might make a nice pattern, but the tileability isn't there. But by simply adding one value into the prompt, you can get it to tile. And I'll give you an example of what that prompt would now look like. So I want to make a repeatable pattern in an illustration style, coloured buttons. And if we just run that prompt, it'll bring us a repeating pattern of coloured buttons, and they might look very pleasant, but you'll see it won't tile. So here are the images, very nice buttons, but they won't tile. You can see the different. And here I am in Affinity Publisher, just to show you that the images don't, although they are repeating, they're not tileable. And if we put something, the same prompt in, and then add tiling to the end, it generates these images. Again, they're not going to tile. That's quite a nice image, but not tiling. The way to get it to tile is as simple as typing -- tile. Stick that at the end of your prompt and you'll be able to get a tileable pattern. Now I found that this tiling patterns work better if you're using kind of things where there's a natural variance and any sort of errors can be explained away. If you were to do this with faces or animals or things like that, it can lead to some very odd images where the it looks bad because the faces look bad. Whereas if you use things like this, buttons or flowers work well, waves work well. I'll just show you that this tiles and then we'll generate some more. So here is the new image that we've just generated. And as you can see, it tiles pretty well. Perfect. And the reason you don't want to stretch this image across the full page is because it will make the resolution awful. By creating a smaller image, by physically shrinking the image down, you increase the resolution. So it makes the image a bit more clearer. It means you've got to use more copies of the image to make up a page, so the image becomes a bit more, the pattern becomes a bit more dense. And there are, of course, upscalers out there. There's Vectorizer, which is free. There's Topaz, which is paid for. I use Coral Paint Shop Pro. So there are options to upscale your images, but to shrinking the physical image and repeating it isn't a bad one. So here I have made a repeating pattern with cartoon cats, and I've told it to tile. And as you can see, some of the cats look fine and workable. Some of them look like absolute horrors. And the image will tile. So it'll tile fine. It's just full of monsters. And these are images that I generated using the same prompt, but I've upped the quality. So from 0.5 I've upped it to 1 and 2. And you can see there's still errors there. You can use negative prompts, but I don't know what you would type in to get rid of this mutation. All cats should have one face and the normal amount of eyes, but what's normal, eh? but also it doesn't always work either, the negative prompt. So you could try and negative prompt you out with this, but so interesting tiling or tileable patterns, but monsters. Whereas if you use something that's more natural and where variation is expected and possible, you get something that works a lot better. So these flowers, they all look fine, although, you know, they're not all accurate or anatomically correct. It doesn't matter if there's a petal out of place or there's extra leaves here or there, because, you know, things happen in nature all the time. We don't see it as, you know, because we see faces all the time, you kind of notice if an image has 2 faces or 6 fingers or 17 eyes. With flowers it's a bit different. So the simple prompt was watercolour field of flowers and then -- tile, and it came up with these tileable flowers. And as you can see, it tiles very well across the page, and you can make a really colourful craft paper pad page or a background for your books or a front cover in seconds. And this one here is just abstract watercolour waves. Again, you can't tell that the look, if anything's wrong with them, it's not immediately noticeable because it's chaotic, and, you know, that's what waves are. Until you go, you can just see that the images tile and it just looks like a larger seascape. Just do the other one. So that's it. Just a quick video to show you how you can create tiling patterns using the AI tool, in this case Midjourney. You can also do it in Leonardo, which I've made a video for, and I will link in the description. But it's really simple, and it's a really useful way of creating unique patterns simply without any concern. If you use prompts like, you know, flowers or waves, clouds, things that are pretty random in nature, then you can create some really good patterns rather than creating nightmare cats. So thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time.